What's up, everybody? Hey, happy Friday. Welcome to another installment of the Local Marketing Institute Q&A Live with my fabulous co-host, Greg Gifford from Search Lab Digital. You can reach him on Twitter at Greg Gifford. And myself, Ben Fisher. Hi, stay demand at The Social Dude. And if you don't already know, and if you're not already in, you should get in, because you know what? Fear of missing out. I'm just saying, you're missing a ton of stuff. Join us on the Local Marketing Institute Connect on Facebook. Greg and I are there. Everybody else is there in this industry. We're all helping each other. If you got questions, come on in. We'll answer them. And then finally, get us on the go. The Local Marketing Institute podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. We're in your ear when you want us there.
And sometimes when you don't want us there.
Exactly. By the way, Greg, speaking of Twitter, are you losing your blue check mark today or what?
Oh, dude, I think it doesn't start until tomorrow, actually.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, it's April 1st. So let's see.
Everybody's like posting their screenshots of, I'm going to lose my original blue check mark. It's going away.
Care. I still have it as of right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you have to open a mobile Twitter, and if you get, you'll get an error message basically that says, hey, it's going away.
Yeah, whatever. I don't do I even care? No.
I will say this. Okay, so it was about a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Anyway, I started noticing some of my posts actually getting depressed as far as like the number of views and the interaction. And I was like, shit, what's going on? I'm posting all this AI content. People should be interested in this stuff. And then guess what? I went ahead and I purchased Twitter Blue, and all of a sudden my stuff went up.
Really?
Go figure. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, suppression's a real thing.
The only thing that, the two things that were cool about having it, number one, both of my boys, when they got old enough to start figuring out social media and they realized that I was verified on Twitter, like it blew their minds, and all their friends think that I'm like the coolest guy ever because I'm verified. Whoop-de-doo. It was just kind of funny to laugh at my kids because I'm like, it wasn't really a big deal. I just filled out a form. But it was cool whenever I interacted with quote unquote celebrities or people in the entertainment industry, because I had the blue check mark. Fairly often I would get responses, and I feel like I wouldn't have gotten those if I didn't have the check mark. So like that was kind of cool, but do I care? No.
Well, do you care if your kids are going to go, hey, Dad, you're a poser now?
Yeah. Look at that. Leah sent the question in last week, and we talked about ATMs, and she just said in the chat she got it verified.
Man, freaking tastic. Woo!
So I guess we don't have to answer that question that we didn't get to.
Oops, Daisy?
Yeah, well, I'm glad that just the ancillary touch with us by submitting the question was enough to help you get that done.
Well, it's kind of like what used to happen right back in the days, like with the computer repair guy. Yeah. Right. Because I used to repair computers. It's like people call me like, hey, I've got this problem and I don't know why, and it won't start up. And I show up and it's like instantly it starts.
Yeah.
It's just because in the presence of. So that's what we'll take that. We'll take it. Okay.
Your awesomeness fixed it by osmosis.
Right. Exactly. And your awesomeness fixed the ATM problem. Just literally by reading the question.
Yep. So,
all right.
Hey to everyone who is here. We appreciate you coming back. And as always, we are going to start the day with a little bit of news.
There we go. All right. So let's get started here. Okay. So in the news, actually it's kind of news, but it's not really news, but I'm going to call it news. Why not? Miriam Ellis went ahead and put together a great little thing about the local search developments in Q1. And Miriam, if you're listening to this, I want you to keep doing this every quarter. It's actually really freaking cool. Why didn't I freaking think of this? Anyway, it starts out with the new local search ranking factors, which is a study that Joy Hawkins did. Do, GBP services impact your ranking? And it's a great case study. It kicked off a lot of thought and questions as to, wow, is this real? is can Google screw up this bad and give us this gift? And so she shows us, and it's before and after. I mean, you can't argue with it. It looks like it's working. And so Darren Shaw, he's going ahead, and hopefully we're going to have him on very shortly. But Darren is doing a test as well right now. I'm doing a test too.
I am too.
You are too, right on. So basically, yeah. So the who's who of the industry is doing tests. I don't know about you, man, but I've been running mine for a week, and so far I've got 4 days solid positive results.
I don't want to say, I don't want to be the naysayer, but so far I have not seen great results from it.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see the article. I want to see the article.
But the other interesting thing is, I'm a nerd about how tests are conducted so that we have statistical relevance.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm always one of the people that's kind of saying, hey, look, you did it with one client. That's awesome. But you can't say that this really works or doesn't work off of one client. So we need to do it on more. Well, then people do it on more and go, oh, it looks like it's working most of the time. But I'm also thinking that in general, if we're all going to test this, we should probably all check together and test it on the same kind of vertical, because it definitely work for some verticals. My suspicion is for some verticals, it's not really going to matter, because for the ones we're testing, it's not looking great.
We'll interesting. So maybe what we all do is, after everybody comes out with their case studies, right? A case is like a single case. Is maybe we get together as a collective group and say, okay, out of the thousands of customers you have, thousands that we have, hundreds over here, whatever it is, right? You know, let's go ahead and let's silo these things, you know, and let's look at them, like you said, from a large data perspective.
Exactly. And it's not just let's use some grid trackers to see if we get more visibility. I'd like to see, do you actually get more real world impressions and real world traffic? Because who cares if the grid trackers are telling you, well, you went from red to green. If it doesn't result in more traffic or more leads, then who cares, you know?
Very, very true. Very true. I mean, we're to be fair, it's like we're using Whitespark actually for this experiment. We're not using a grid tracker. And of course, we do have the GPP data, so we can cross-reference the two. So that's a really good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and steal that from you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right, good. You know,
I'll take a link when you publish your results.
Oh, dude, we should all be linking to each other. Come on, it's relevant, right? It's not like we're not trying to game the system. It's relevant. I'll link to your results. Hell yeah. Especially if they contradict me.
In fact, we could make a new policy here that if you have a question and you'd like to get it answered more quickly, throw a couple of links our way and we might bump you to the top of that list.
Just saying. Okay, yeah, she goes over the whole BBB thing, but I think we killed that to death last time. You know, GPP products in Google shopping results, I find that one actually interesting. I've been seeing it more and more show up in GPP, saying encouraging people to do products. You know, so, no, we're not paying. We're giving you valuable advice for links. Yeah. Right. You know, the whole in search experience, you know, profile strength, you know, I don't know about that one. That one's fixed, actually. You're welcome. You know, stuff like that. So it's a really good article. Check it out, you know, and I think everybody needs to, you know, thank Miriam and encourage her to do it on a regular basis.
Heck yeah. Everybody go tweet her.
Yes.
As long as Twitter still works.
Yes, exactly. Tweet her and say, hey, we just heard about this on LMI. You rock. You're awesome. All right. Greg, you're up, buddy.
Yeah. So big week. The annual LaSurf, the local search ranking factors study information, was finally released by Darren Shaw and the Whitespark team. Go check that out. Hopefully everyone watching / listening has already seen it, because you're into local SEO if you're here, which means you probably should have been paying attention and you already saw it. But for those of you that may not have known about it yet, we're glad to break that news to you. It's got some really cool information in there. Some new stuff. I really thought it was cool that they added in the information about ranking factors for LSAs.
Yep.
That was a nice touch. And just the way that it now breaks down and doesn't just say, hey, here's the top few factors. You can expand that little graphic and see every single ranking factor. And then it also talks about the myths, not specifically as questions about myths, but just looking at the aggregate data of what the factors were that didn't matter. He has a cool little analysis about which things changed for the last, I think it was the last 4 years that he shows on that bar graph.
Yeah, it is 4 years.
How signal strengths changed and not really 4 years because technically the last one out was released at the end of 2021. But
actually, no, he goes back as 2015.
Oh yeah, then it's showing signals, but it's 4 bars for each signal, right?
If I remember right. Yeah, he's got it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, but still, you could see how signal strengths increased or decreased over time. So that's really cool. Definitely check that out if you haven't. It's pretty much the local search Bible. It really gives you a lot of insight into things you should and shouldn't be doing every year. Yep. So make sure you go check that out. Plus, whoever his graphics guy is, I forget. He actually told me because I asked him, but the graphics with the whole kind of hand-drawn graphic stuff that they did this year is really super sweet looking from a design standpoint.
Yeah, I gotta say, being involved in this for myself and plus like you is like Darren's doing a fantastic job with this. He really is. He stepped up his game this year.
Yeah,
big time. Sure. Like you said, they going over the whole myths, because we've been talking about myths for the past year. Everybody has. And shame on whoever the 2 people are that suggested that geotagging actually helps.
Yeah.
Shame on you. We don't know who you are, but we will find out.
I told Darren I actually wanted to go in this year and do like the Bizarro. For those of you that are fans of DC Comics, you had Bizarro, who was the anti-Superman, like exact opposite of Superman. I wanted to do the Bizarro answers and just do the complete opposite. Like say that the awesome stuff is not helpful at all and the stuff that's not helpful or dumb actually does really help, just to throw him for a loop when he's looking at it and go, what the heck is Greg thinking? But like the comedy bit of that would have been funny for about 5 seconds, but it probably would have gotten me booted and I wouldn't get to answer stuff in the future. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, if you go in there and say, yeah, Google Business Profile is going to help in organic search.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. The other thing is my favorite part of this, besides the LSA ranking factors, which I enjoyed doing actually, how local SEOs are using AI, right? Yeah. That was very interesting to read that breakdown. And then there was the suspension risk factors. Yeah, that was also cool, brand new.
That was really cool.
Yeah. And we had, instead of doing on a scale of 1 to 10 while we were participating, it was down to 5. Which actually, I talked to Darren about that, and it makes it a lot more accurate, actually, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So check it out. It's really interesting. The big takeaway, the big thing I thought was interesting is link signals going down. Well, I don't know about that.
And content signals for the map pack actually increased from last year.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. Makes sense, but a couple of interesting tidbits in there this year.
Yeah, definitely. So everybody go check it out. And also, why not? Let's have even more fun with Twitter, and go on Twitter and thank Darren and the team for doing such a wonderful job with the survey.
Yep.
All right, cool. I don't do this very often. Moving on to the next piece. Greg and I usually don't talk about like the businesses that we're in very much. And so kind of do that, I guess, kind of on purpose, wouldn't you think? Yeah, kind of, sort of, maybe not commercial.
That's not really why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
But every once in a while, it's okay.
Every once in a while. Exactly. So, however, everybody, just wanted to let you know, Steady Demand is hiring. We are looking for we're looking for a really good SEO person. We're looking for a good SEO auditor, somebody who knows GPP, somebody who knows organic. And if you're crushing it, if you're killing it, if you got some experience with all of that, well, why don't you just go ahead and read on the local search forum our SEO specialist job offering. And if you're interested, please apply. We'd love to talk to you. All right. Man, almost done the PSAs.
Well, we're done with the news, and we don't actually have music for PSAs, but
We can figure one out later.
let's do the news again. PSAs.
PSA at the news, the PSA edition. All right. So, automotive dealers can't do LSA. Sorry. Okay. So, unless something has really, really changed.
No, they can't. Yeah,
Okay.
Leslie, automotive dealers can't do LSAs. So, yeah, no, not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? And actually, it's a good time just for housekeeping. If you do have questions, please pop them into the questions and answers section. Thank you. And we can get to them either today or, I don't know, 2 weeks. All right.
He couldn't afford me, Steven.
So,
plus, dude, I'm the COO. I don't do like SEO work anymore. Like I know it, but man, the last thing I want to do is go back and do client level work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, would you like to sit down and do 5-10 hour audits? I don't think so.
Heck no. Or I mean, I could, but man, those would be super expensive audits to sell.
Yeah, right. It's like me. I actually. When was the last time I've done an audit? Shit, 5 years ago, something like that. Okay. So anyway, all right. So PSA, we are looking for examples of AI review responses. It could end up in a deck. It could end up just sitting on my computer, who knows what, but we're looking for real world examples of how people are using AI and using them in review responses. So yeah, if you do have those, hit me up on Twitter at the social dude and just paste over some examples. If you want to just share the link to one of the reviews or a couple of the reviews, that'd be great. We'd love to see them. Okay. Next.
And speaking of AI generated content and AI in general, the next PSA is.
Yes. Next PSA is,
And you beat me to it. I was trying to like share the link right when you started talking about it, but you did it too fast.
Damn. Sorry. You can beat me next time. How's that? All right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Stephen, I'm looking for review responses on Google, but thank you for that. So the other thing is, while we're talking about AI, I mean, we've been talking about AI now for like the past 4 episodes, something like that.
Yep.
And so as you all know, I'm a total geek on this stuff. And I find it interesting. ChatGPT 4 is pretty damn advanced. It's really advanced. GPT-5 is probably going to get more towards generative AI, which is actually a little bit more conscious AI, I guess you could call it. But one of the things is that there are now plugins which are in alpha. The plugins are the eyes and the ears of ChatGPT because it can't natively do things like book a hotel room, book a table at a restaurant. It can't search the web. Well, with the plugins, now it can. And specifically searching the web is what most people are starting to get worried about, is because is ChatGPT going to be able to get information in real time? Is it going to be able to cannibalize what you're doing as a publisher on your blog, etc.? Is it going to use your information and not give you credit? So you're going to not get any traffic from this. So, and yes, Trisha, I'm looking for spammy, but I'm also looking for ones that don't necessarily look like they're AI. So there is now a way, though, and OpenAI has gone ahead and given everybody the opportunity. If you don't want ChatGPT scraping your site, go ahead and implement this in your HD access, and you can block ChatGPT. So if you don't want to be part of the AI revolution, you can opt out.
There we go.
Mark, have you played with the browsing alpha actually? Because if so, I'm like super jealous, man. I've applied. I just haven't gotten accepted yet. Crazy. Oh, you got it yesterday. Nice. Nice. All right. Yeah, I'm like totally officially jealous, man. I'm just saying. All right. All right, man. Greg, let's go ahead. We are going to rock and we are going to roll into questions that we had last week, because last week we had tons of questions. Thank you, everybody. By the way, we are up to 3 questions this week. I want to see that number quadrupled. So go ahead. As you know, in the last half an hour of the show, or maybe in the last 15 minutes of the show, we're going to go, we can do things live. We can go ahead and answer questions. If you've got something tough, throw it in there.
Or if you want us to do a live quick audit of your site.
Yeah.
Or not audit really, but a quick look at the site. Like we did that a couple, 2 or 3 months ago, and it was really cool. So if anybody's got something you want us to take a look at, throw that in the Q&A as well.
Yep.
Also, exactly. Jeffrey, funny that you put that question into the Q&A, because it's actually the second question we're getting to today, and it was already sorted that way. So
nice.
We will get to you at some point if you submit the questions.
Yes. All right, cool. With that being said, first one's for you, buddy.
All right.
So let's see. Where do we start with this one? I have 3 locations. This one's from Ken. Is Ken with us today?
Ken is not with us today, but I know Ken. Ken's legit. I actually saw him in Austin at PubCon.
Nice. Okay. So, by the way, great video. Well done. Well done, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's always fun to do those. Plus, it's an extra week. I don't have to come up with content. So,
bonus.
Yeah.
All right. So Ken asks at 11:28 a.m. I have 3 locations. My primary office is in suburb X, which I've never been to suburb X, but I've heard it's kind of cool, which is located adjacent to a larger city, Y. My secondary office is in large city, Y. Okay, larger city Y and large city Y. Anyway, I want my homepage to rank primarily for large city Y. Do I need to place the office address for city Y on my homepage to rank for searches in city Y? If yes, what is the best way to do that for a divorce law firm? Thank you.
So, you don't necessarily have to have the address on the page to rank in that city. It's more important that you've got your location in that city. And really, it comes down more to optimizing your business profile correctly for the map pack and map side of it. But for the organic side, it's all content optimization. So just optimize, honestly, knowing Ken and knowing where he is, like Ken, you should be optimizing for the big city across the website. For the smaller suburb, you're going to show up there because you should have also a little silo of content about what you do there for that city, but you've got a Google business profile and there's nowhere near the level of competition there. So you'll probably be fine there. Just optimize the whole site around the main city in the metro. And because of the fact that you've got a GBP there as well, you'll be fine.
Yep, good enough. We're just going to move on from that. Good answer, man. All right, Jeffrey.
Next question is Jeffrey's question for you.
Yes.
Which, maybe we shouldn't answer his question since he was so eager and he entered it again. Maybe we should make him wait.
Oh, wait a minute. He answered it. He asked again?
Yeah, he put it in the Q&A today.
Oh, man. Jeffrey, dude. Gosh,
no, it's cool. Jeffrey's cool. No worries.
All right.
We'll let it pass this time. So his question was, is it more difficult to merge a duplicate listing if the main profile is a service area business and the duplicate is a brick and mortar? A few months back, Google created a new listing for his client's business at their home address, and Google is really dragging their feet on merging them.
Okay. So, you're welcome, Ken.
It's been over 2 months now. He added in the Q&A resubmit this week.
Got it. So the answer is no. I mean, it's not really more difficult. As long as there's matching information like a phone number, the name of the business, the website, if these things are all kind of the same, then the merge should be actually pretty darn seamless. There just shouldn't be any issue. So I'm not sure why Google's dragging their feet on this. What I would say is if it's been too long, I mean, if we're talking like, in this case, 3 weeks, just take your case, bring it over to you got 2 options. You can open up a new case, okay, because it's not like they're going to give you the middle finger for opening up a new case in this scenario. Or just bring it over to the community and, Greg or I or one of the product experts can always escalate it for you.
Boom.
All right. Next one is for you, my friend. This one comes from Cordell Crowley at 11:31 a.m. We have a listing that has been verified with Postcard twice now, and both times Google is rejecting the new address and changing it back to the old address. I think it may be because the address is new and not fully recognized on maps yet. Would adding the address to maps through editing it directly, then trying again with the postcard work? Or should we go through straight GBP support? We all know that they're usually useless since we've received 2 postcards successfully. Interesting.
So, couple of things here. I wish you were here, Cordell, but hopefully you're listening to it later. I would want a bit of clarification. When you say that it's been verified with the postcard twice, I'm assuming that that is close together, like you got verified and then you got re-verified because of the address changes, not like, hey, you verified 5 years ago and then 3 years ago. The first thing that I would actually think here is that if you are verifying with the postcard with the correct address and then the address changes, and it's not one of those, hey, Google is suggesting a change and you can either accept it or deny it, it's just changing, I would first check to see if you have a third-party tool that might be sending the wrong information. Something like a Yext potentially could be doing this. And most of the time when you have information that keeps changing back to something else pretty quickly, that's usually the culprit. It's usually a third-party tool that has the old information that you forgot was attached, or sometimes is even a marketing agency that you used in the past that never turned you off when you left, so that bad information keeps feeding back in. That could be potentially what's up. If that's not what's up, honestly, you could go to support, but I'd just go to the forum and get it escalated through the forum, like Ben was just talking about. That's the easiest way to get this one fixed.
I mean, this one, man, this sounds like a total edge case. It really does. Because there's a lot of stuff in here. It's a new address, maybe not fully recognized on maps. It's like you've got to go to the USPS for that, right? You've got to go and make sure that you can actually get mail. But then they're saying that they got mail 2 times successfully. So that kind of doesn't make any sense, right?
Yep.
So like, which is it? Like, did you not get mail? Did you get the mail? So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you're not getting the postcards, then reach out to support and ask for video verification. That's what I would say. Jeffrey, throw it in the Q&A, man. Okay, cool.
Also, I am sharing a link in the chat right now. It's a cool little link you can use. You want to do it with the account that has access, either ownership or management, to your GBP. You go to that link. It will give you a list of all the third-party tools that have been granted access to your business profile. So you can use that link. And Cordell, since you're not here to see it in chat, it's myaccount.google.com/permissions $PLI=1. So if you go use that link, it will give you a list of everything that has access to your account. So if you do see a Yext or Bright Local or any sort of tool that has access to edit your GBP, check that tool and see, well, A, check the list and see if everything that's there should have access or if there's something there that shouldn't have access. And B, if there is a tool like that, go check that tool and see what information's in the tool, because it could be that tool that's creating those changes.
Yep, exactly. And congratulations, Stephen. I don't know if you've heard this before or not, but every once in a while you can get verified actually without having to do anything. It's kind of like getting the magic Willy Wonka golden ticket. And you just it's Google trusts your account for whatever reason. And it's totally random, though. It's not going to happen all the time, unfortunately. All right.
Our next question is for you from Rhea. I wonder if Rhea is here. Let's see. Rhea's here. Boom.
Hey, Rhea.
Rhea's question from a previous episode, I think last week, was a GBP question for you. Why do you think there isn't a verification option where you can verify by submitting a business license or a document that clearly states your NAP, similar to what Apple Business Connect is doing? Do you think they'll ever add that as an option?
Absolutely freaking not. So I was actually at a Google summit and where we talked about things like this when it comes to verification. And the basic reason for it is that a business license can actually be faked really easy. You can go on Fiverr and you will find people who will fake a business license for you. And the other thing is kind of complementary to that is that Google doesn't have a direct connection to business license databases. So there's no way for them to actually verify the veracity of a business license. So that's a secondary issue. And a third issue, not all states, cities give business licenses, and not all industries require a business license. So the rules basically are uneven. They don't apply everywhere. And that's just the United States. Now, so you could start talking about other countries. Do they even have business licenses? Again, do they require business licenses? Are there online directories? And the answer is, it's like if you go to India, it's like, no, there are no business licenses. If you go to Egypt, good luck, things like that. So, and what to always remember there is that when Google implements a policy, they have to do it worldwide. And it has to be consistent. So that's why, no, they won't use it, unfortunately. And, but yeah, anyway, that's really all there is to that question. What do you think, buddy?
No, yeah. That's kind of the main issue is that whole, if it doesn't work everywhere, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird if you think about it, right? Because they put that BBB link on that verification form, but that's not all over the world.
Yeah, but come on, bro. How often does Google follow Google's own rules?
How about never?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Wait, is
for
it
you,
new?
buddy?
We should have asked Barry if that's something that happens all the time. Hey, Barry, is it new that Google doesn't always follow its own guidelines?
Nope, it's not new.
That's correct.
There we go.
Barry's right. Yep, it's not new. It's not new. Barry gets paid, $5 for every time he has to answer the fact that it's not new. You know that, right?
Yeah. No.
He doesn't actually get paid. He should get paid, though. I'm just saying.
For sure.
All right. So, the question for you, my man, Wendy Moon at 11:40 a.m. asked, we've been getting several inquiries from our SEO clients lately about voice search optimization. Is that even such a thing? We always use SEO best practices, schema, conversational content, etc., to optimize for voice search. In quotes, by the way. Are there any specific strategies to optimize for voice search?
So Wendy's not here, but Wendy, if you're listening to this later, the first thing that I thought when I saw this question was, wait, is it 5 years ago at a conference? Because 5 years ago, every conference was talking about voice search optimization, blah, blah, blah. It was the next big buzzy thing. And do you even hear about it anymore? No, because voice search is still the same algorithm. It is a different a different method of entering a search query. It is not a different method of optimization. So all you have to do is let your clients know voice search just means you're speaking your query instead of typing it. It is the same algorithm. There is nothing different to do. If you're doing all of the regular local SEO best practices, tell them you're already doing everything that needs to be done and you're good.
Yeah. So in other words, if somebody says, I have a way for you to do voice search optimization, I've got this little bottle of snake oil to sell you. Just saying. I do remember though. Remember how Yext was like super big on that? They were like, we are one of the first voice search companies and we can get you into all the voice search.
Well, I can get people into voice search too, because I do regular SEO and that's all it takes.
Exactly. All right.
So yeah, next question for you is from our dear old friend Anonymous.
Oh, anonymous attendee, how are you doing?
Which, it's great to see anonymous attendee back, because for a while there, Anonymous was dominating the Q&A section, and lately we haven't really heard from Anonymous. So,
that is correct.
Hey, Anonymous, we're happy you're back.
Do you think we'll ever run into Anonymous at a show?
How would we know if we do or we don't?
Well, I'm just saying, anonymous attendee, you wouldn't be very anonymous, but if you would please put on a t-shirt next time you're at a local U or something like that, where Greg and I are at, put on a t-shirt that says anonymous attendee, please.
It would be really funny if everybody shows up at local U next month with a shirt that says anonymous attendee.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Trisha, lead the charge.
Do it. Trisha, you're failing horribly if you don't show up in an anonymous attendee t-shirt.
You must come with an anonymous attendee. Yes.
All right. Anyway, so the question is, I've seen a higher number of legit service area business reviews being filtered than brick and mortar for clients and my own reviews that I leave. Is anyone else seeing this? Oh, this is Trisha's question because it says Trisha. I guess we clearly suck at prepping for the show because as we're putting all these together, neither one of us read far enough through the question to see. Trisha, has anonymous attendee always been you, and you're just doing that because you don't want to be like, Trisha, I'm asking all the questions?
I have a feeling. I don't know.
No, she said it's not her. But of course, that's what you would say if it was you.
Exactly.
So maybe it still is. We'll find out.
Exactly.
And also, notice, as we were talking about running into anonymous attendee at the next event, she straight up said a couple of minutes ago that
I'm hoping to see
anonymous at local U.
Yes.
That's a bit mysterious, y'all.
I'm just saying, Trisha, I want to see that t-shirt.
Anyway, her question. She's seen a higher number of legit reviews being filtered for service area businesses than brick and mortars. Are you seeing the same thing?
No. Straight up, no. I don't think it matters. I mean, Google does not discriminate between people, storefronts, or service area businesses. They will equally penalize everybody. And so their filters they're just up. That's all there is to it. And if you are having reviews get filtered, just get screenshots, basically, and get screenshots of the reviews from the contribution section of Google Maps from the user, and we'll bring them to the community, and we can go ahead and we can see if we can get those retrieved for you.
But if it's the reviews she's leaving herself, maybe Google just doesn't like you, Trisha.
That is awesome. Yep. There is that possibility. All right. So we are coming up on 2 left questions before we start getting into live questions. And we currently are sitting at, well, it says 5, but I think it's like 3 because there's some dupes in there. So if you have more questions, please throw them in the Q&A. Otherwise, we're just going to get into other questions. So
not only did he have the leadoff question this week, I think Ken wins this week's episode of the LMI show because he said in the chat we should print and distribute the anonymous attendee shirts with our logo on it to promote the podcast. I think that's brilliant.
Yes, I think we can go to Zazzle and do it.
Yep. Heck, I've got a Cricut machine at home, and we made all our own custom shirts for Disney last year. I could make the shirts for people and sell them.
Let's just do it. Let's just go ahead.
Dude, I'm gonna make us some shirts for local U.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna be there. Sorry.
What?
I know. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm not gonna be there. Yes, I know. Unfortunately, in Vegas, the biggest franchise expo is happening at that time. It's the multi-unit.
Lame.
Yeah, I know, but it's thousands of people, and to get in, you have to have 10 units. So, I'm just saying.
Lame.
I won't be there.
Yeah, we'll get them up we'll put a link out on the Facebook group if anybody wants to get the shirts. We'll figure that out for sure. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think so. The Local Marketing Institute anonymous attendee shirt. Yes. Okay. And Trisha, by the way, it's all your fault. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh wait. Okay. Next question's for me. So go ahead.
All right. So Lindsay Jones, is Lindsay here? At 11:33 a.m. Left a question. We have a client needing to do video verification for their SAB. They're a painting company, and her home office doesn't have any tools, as the workers have the work vehicles with all the supplies. Do you have any suggestions on what the client can prepare, since she doesn't have any of her tools? Her car has magnets.
So guess what? Those worker vehicles with all of the tools and supplies and logos on the side, they do drive around. So why don't you just have one of the trucks be at your house?
Right.
And you could do that. It's super easy. Like, you don't have to always have it there. All that matters is you've got the video there to show that you have access at a level that the general public wouldn't have. So you have one of your workers at the house with the truck. You can show your car with the magnets as well, but magnets aren't a permanent thing, where it's probably permanent on the side of the truck. Plus they've got all the access to the tools and the painting equipment. Just have the truck at the house when you do the video. It's super easy.
Yeah, and I'll throw one thing out there. This is a very, very, very little known thing, but I'll put it out there. Why not? And that is that Lindsay, if you're listening to this, but everybody else, you're going to want to know this. Sometimes an SAB can actually get away with doing a video verification on the job. So if you're with a client, you've got your truck, I hope, then you can show the work that you're doing for the client. And that can actually pass video verification. You heard it here first. All right. Okay.
The one that should have been a drum roll. I never get the hands. Someday I'm going to get the hands right and pop it right at the end. But that was a great little tip.
So, but going with Greg's suggestion, which is, look, just have one of your people come to your house, just park it in the driveway, then they can go.
And the next question we had labeled as coming to me, but it's your turn. So I'm going to pull it on and ask you instead. This one is a question from Neil, who is not here this week. So Neil, hopefully you're listening to the recording of this. And Neil's question that came in right at the end last time was, U.S. Alert Security LLC is located at 1110 North Mississippi Avenue in Ada, Oklahoma, next door to a hotel named Raintree Inn, which is at 1100. Our GBP listing shows U.S. Alert as located in Raintree Inn.
Mm-hmm.
I've edited the location with the located in as blank.
Yep.
Good luck. I've also addressed it in the community forum with no resolution. Is there a way to contact GBP support?
Yes, there absolutely is. You go through the Get Help form. If you could grab that, please, Greg. You go through the Get Help form. And this is actually the only way to get rid of located in. And so then you go ahead and just go through it, select other, and there's the options of what the problem is, and just explain the issue. You want to link to your profile. You want to link to the profile that you're located in, and just say, my company is located next to this business. You can provide a link to the maps if you want to, and you kind of have to spoon feed it to support. And then just say, please remove the located in designation. And guess what? They will go ahead and they'll remove the located in designation, but that's the only way you can do it. So that's all you got to do.
So here's the link. Sorry, I was slow because I was typing something to Danielle. There's the link to get help if you need help. Okay. And now it is time to switch to live questions.
Oh, yeah. How come we don't have a sound effect for that?
I mean, dude, because I don't know, we've never talked about it before. Usually when we talk about sound effects, unless it's just something real goofy, I'm going to have the sound effect next time. But, I'll try to come up with one for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of be difficult. Like, what kind of sound would you have for Q&A?
I don't know. Just another another like.
How about like the Jeopardy sound?
Questions and answers.
How about like the Jeopardy sound or something like that? Some TV show where they're doing questions and answers.
Ooh, yeah, like $10,000 Pyramid theme song.
Yeah, exactly. School. Right. Yeah. Something like that.
Yep.
So, Leslie, throw them into the Q&A
section. Leslie and Danielle, put them in Q&A because, most likely we're going to have plenty of time to get to them. But we got 15 minutes. And if any of these take too long, we want to make sure we've got them kept in perpetuity so we can get to them in a future episode.
Stephen just bought it. Stephen bought it. Price is right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to write a note down for that right there.
Yep. All right, Stephen, you got it. Excellent. You can become anonymous attendee now, by the way.
Okay, so
It's gonna be a freaking badge.
wait, whose turn is it? That was your turn.
That was yeah. So now it's your turn. Okay. All right, Lee. Green has a question. Actually, Lee has like two. No, it's one. Well, Lee, thank you for the information. We can't talk about that stuff live, so we're not going to do it. But she created a question in the Google community. It's been 3 days and she hasn't heard back. So I need to just put this out there. And that is that the community is full of volunteers. So, so basically, because it's volunteers, we don't do things on demand, and there's a lot of questions. So it's possible your question is getting missed. That is possible. Give it a couple more days for somebody to get to it, and then if nobody does, reach out to Greg or I on Twitter, just with the link. And again, we're volunteers, so we'll get to it when we can.
When do you typically get on to help in the forum?
Usually around 5 or 6 Pacific.
Oh, interesting. See, I always do mine first thing in the morning.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but that gives you some insight. You got some of us that are going to do it first thing in the morning. I know some people do it around lunchtime.
Yeah.
Ben does it in the afternoon. So if you're asking your question later on, like let's say it's 7 Pacific, chances are that's something that nobody's really going to catch. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have more questions come in because it's international, and more questions come in, and potentially you're buried far enough back that the next morning, when the morning round of people like me jump in, we're not going far enough back to get that question because there's a huge block of questions before it. So yeah. I hadn't ever really thought of it this way before, but potentially it might matter what time of day you enter your question in the forum.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does, because we get inundated with questions from India.
Yep.
So their daytime is, our nighttime, basically. So, although, I mean, gosh, we get them all day long too. But yeah, actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up a filter to search for my name, just in case somebody is trying to get my attention.
Ooh, that's smart.
Yeah.
I should do the same thing.
Yeah. So if you want an answer from Greg or I, just go ahead and say, I would love a response, or I would love if the attention from Greg was there, Greg Gifford, right? Or Ben Fisher. And then we can, I'm going to do that actually now. I'm going to go ahead and set up a filter, and that's going to be the second thing that I do. First thing I do is I reply to people's comments.
Yep.
So if they comment back on a thread, I go ahead and reply to those comments. Then I go ahead and I usually start getting into stuff. But yeah, I think I'll search on my name first.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. I'll do the same thing. So if you're listening and you want quicker help or specific help from one of the two of us,
yep,
definitely just mention in your post there that, hey, I'd love it if I could get some help from Ben or from Greg, and then we can jump in and help. Especially if your question is related to anything with car dealers or RV dealers or any vehicle type dealer. That is my bread and butter. Pretty heavy in legal and healthcare as well. So any questions related to that, call me out. But obviously we can help with anything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my specialty is guidelines, anything to do with suspensions, verifications, and then I love edge cases, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
all right. Next question.
Oh
wait, was that a man? We need so have you ever played Exploding Kittens? The card game?
I started to play Exploding Kittens and then I couldn't stand it.
So there's an expansion pack for it. And because of all the different times you can reverse the order of play, people would get confused. So the expansion pack actually has one of those collars that you put on a dog to keep him from licking himself when he gets surgery.
That was the one I got.
It's a big thing that if you forget which direction play is going, you have to wear the dog collar, and the inside of the dog collar on one side has an arrow pointing this way and on the other side has an arrow pointing that way. So you have to rotate the dog collar around anytime somebody selects a change in direction. I feel like we almost need something like that, because every week we're like, wait, whose turn is it?
The collar of shame. Yes.
I think this one is your question. I'm asking you this, right?
Why not? Yeah, go for it.
Or who knows? Whatever.
Whatever.
Yes.
Oh, you know,
Holiday
this is
game.
Jeff from 2 weeks ago.
Oh wait, we already answered this one.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did that
Jeff,
one.
we're not answering
You
your
can't.
question again.
No,
The nerve of you to ask us this question when we've already answered it on today's show.
double
Man,
dipping.
Jeff's getting a buzzer.
Double dipper. Okay, all right.
Okay, so then, Leah's got another question. Is moving to an agency GBP account worth it? Do you get better support?
So I will answer that question. Actually, on the support page for agency accounts, you'll see my funky dunky little video that explains why agency supports agency dashboards are awesome. And let's go over that really quickly. So why do you want an agency dashboard in the first part? First part is because you can keep basically all of your profiles really nicely organized. You can also keep track of any kind of who is giving you access very easily. So there's a queue. You can also request access of any storefront, and you can also manage multiple users inside of the account so easily, super duper freaking easily. Do you get better support? The answer is you used to, Lee. There used to be a dedicated support form just for being an agency. Now, the neat thing about this is that you still kind of get better support. If you'll notice that when you're going through support, get help, there is a specific drop down all over the place now. You're welcome. That basically says, are you an agency, or who are you, basically? What's your relationship? And if you select agency, it actually does get piped to a different support group. So yes, it is worth it. That's all I can say. All right. Okay. You ready for Jackson's question?
Let's do it.
All right. So Jackson has this. We've talked to a company, Real Work Labs, that has an app that allows employees and contractors for service businesses like plumbers, for example, to do check-ins at different job sites. They say that this helps you rank better in their area. Is this true? Do check-ins really help that much with rankings in an area? What they say.
Hold on. What do they say?
That's a good question. So what they say is checking into job sites tells Google and other search engines where you're working. It contextualizes your photos and reviews and gives you organic credit at the local level. So the next time somebody nearby searches for your service, you show up where it matters most.
So obviously I am lacking in sound effects because I should have a shoveling a giant pile of bullcrap sound effect.
Thank you. That's right. I was going to go.
Yeah. Jackson, that is total BS. It is not just a bottle, not just a 6-pack, not even a case, but an entire keg of snake oil right there. So for sure, don't do it. Now, sure, if you want to do it so you can make sure your workers are getting there and you make them check in on time instead of texting you to let you know, like if you got some internal thing that you want to make sure your workers are where they say they are on the times that they are, okay, great. But for sure, this isn't going to do jack squat to how you show up in Google.
No, this is going to be pretty much a waste of time. It's going to cause stress, actually, on your plumbers, for instance. Instead, how about this? Focus your efforts, very much so, on when they do a good job, ask for a review. That will actually give you some good traction. Or, better yet, when they're asking for the review, ask for a review with the customer with a photo. Oh God, what? What?
I'm looking at the website and like the very first thing, let's cut to the chase. Why talk to us? Google says to avoid SEO first content. In order to rank online, you must have authentic content updated regularly on your website. Is yours in good standing? Get found where you work, not where your office is. Every job becomes a location beacon in the neighborhoods where you work. Get found online when neighbors look for what you do. Are your future clients finding you now? Yeah, wow. You know, it's just shocking that crap like this actually works and people buy into this.
Yeah, it is.
Believe it. Like,
Well, I mean, exactly. It's like, Stephen goes like, sounds like geotagging, right? It's like, people sell this crap because you're right. Somebody's going to buy it. That's very true. And if 100 out of 1,000 targets end up buying it, they're making money. It's sad because somebody's going to get liable. Somebody's going to be liable for it in the sense of, it's like, for instance, Jackson, if you brought this to, say, your CEO, right? And your CEO is like, I believe you, let's do it. And then all of a sudden, 50% of your clients come back in 3 months going, what happened? Our rankings tanked because you stopped doing this and we started doing this. And now all of a sudden your job's in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does more damage than it's worth.
Yeah.
All right.
Not cool.
All right. So cone of shame.
We've got time to do one last question, and Danielle has sent that over. How long does it typically take to get a video verification approved? I'm going on 12 days.
Yeah.
It still says processing. It's not showing live either.
Yeah. So video verification is not a silver bullet, number one. So yeah, it's going to be stuck in processing. The fact that it's been 12 days is a little bit concerning, really. Oh, is the only option that you had? Okay, yeah. Okay, so you did that kind of video verification. There's two types. There's live and there's not live. So when you're doing it this way and it gets stuck, give it 2 more days. Okay. If it doesn't get unstuck, reach out to support. Actually, screw that. Reach out to support right now. Reach out to support and say, hey, it's stuck in processing. Can you unstuck it, please? If they come back and they don't understand your question, which they might not, then you can come to the community. And, we need a sound for this.
For what? Coming to the community?
Yeah. We say it so often.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I need to go do some research on some sort of a movie quote or a TV show quote that says something about community.
I think there was a TV show called Community.
There was, but it's because it was a community college. They're not going to have I want something in Fast and Furious, it's always it's all about family, which wouldn't work. But if it was it's all about community, that would be awesome.
Well, hold on.
We'll find something clever for that.
No. Stephen Asman has a very, very good suggestion. So I'm going to just go to Bing really quick. Okay. So my question for Bing is going to be very simple. What is a good sound effect? Oh yeah, this should be fun. So what is a good sound effect to use that is good for the phrase go to?
Say go to the community or go to the forum. And it's going to come back and say a recording of someone's voice saying go to the community.
Now it's going to come back and say, I'm an AI assistant. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Okay. So it's taking things. I'll go, sound effect for go to the community. Okay. It's doing a search. All right. Nope. Couldn't find any specific. However, there are many websites that offer a range of sound effects.
Lame.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Big fail.
All right. ChatGPT. Holy
That was a dumb idea, Steven. Thanks.
Holy shit. I just did a search in ChatGPT. You know how normally it takes forever for it to go word by word by word?
Yeah.
It just did it at lightning freaking speed.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Anyway. All right. So ChatGPT. 4. Well, actually, that's model 3.5. I should do 4. Okay, one sound effect that would work well for go to the community or go to the forums is a sound of a door opening. The sound could suggest entering a space or joining a group, which is both phases are implying. Another sound effect that would work well is crowd cheering or clapping, as this conveys a sense of community and group support. And I'm going to go home. Let me change the model.
No, because if we were hey, what should I do because I can't get verified and support's not helping me, and we went, Then we look like jerks.
That's stupid. Yeah, exactly. All right. So ChatGPT 4, now that was 3.5. 4 says could be a light, positive chime or brief, uplifting melody. This could convey a sense of invitation, collaboration, and excitement, encouraging users to engage in the community or forum. No, fuck that. All right. So how about a TV show? All right. This is interesting. Okay, no, a theme from a TV show. All right, this is the last question I'm going to ask. All right, here we go. A theme. It's suggesting Friends. I'll be there for you from the Rembrandts.
That's funny. It doesn't work, but it's funny.
Yeah, that's what the suggestion is. Okay, this could be honed in. So why don't we do this? We'll table this till like next week. Cheers, Norm from Paul. Famous quote catchphrase. If you're watching, welcome to the party, pal. Yeah, welcome to the party, pal from Die Hard. Right? Yep. Okay. Or Sound of Gladiators going into the forums. You can do that. Those who are about to die. Just saying. Anyway, so everybody put your thinking hats on. We will too, as to what you would like a sound effect for to be. Go to the community. All right. Yep. With that, we have another episode on the books of the Local Marketing Institute Connect. Q&A with Greg and Ben and all of you fantastic people. Yeah, thanks for coming. Have a fantastic weekend. And Greg, fill up some time here while I go ahead and archive this data.
Yep. And we will see you all in 2 weeks for the next episode. And hopefully we'll see some of you, but not Ben, at Local U in, I think that Local U is like 3 weeks away. So like, that's exciting. As Ben's copying stuff over real quick, other than Trisha, pop into chat. Let us know. Anybody else coming to Local U? You should be, because it's going to be awesome.
All right.
Anybody?
Housekeeping done.
Housekeeping is done, and you guys type too slow, or maybe Trisha's the only one going. So, travel tips for Dallas. Pop me a message, Trisha, and we'll chat, and I can give you a bunch of cool stuff to do.
You can actually also go ask Bing.
Yeah. All right. Everybody have a good weekend.
Bye, everybody.